Hello, everybody. Happy Jesus Day. Happy Passover Day. Anyways, I would like to share a testimony that happened to me, and I think this is only for people who straight up believe in Jesus and are walking with Jesus. Um, I think this is to encourage you and maybe to give you a little bit of information with what happened to me. The ones that don't believe in God and this is not for you. Go ahead and click off. But if you want to listen, go ahead. But anyways, so let me share my story. So last year, I started losing interest in reading the Bible. I started losing interest in praying. And let me tell you something. I was very committed and very, very doing everything was God was telling me. But there was one time where, and let me tell you, God's gonna do things in your life sometimes to show you how He works. And I think in this case, this is exactly what happened. So, anyways, I'm very committed to God. I still am, and so here we go. I always get so stuck in my when I'm talking, but I'll go ahead and share it. So there was this guy on Facebook. He's was preaching. I watch a lot of YouTube videos of other people who preach on, and I get a lot of information, and God confirms things to me through them, and also when I read the Bible. So there was this guy that was saying, "Oh yeah, God forgives you from your sins." Um, but what I got from his preaching was that no matter if you're a Christian, you can still do whatever you want and you will not suffer the consequences. So in my case, I was like, wait a second, that's not in my case. If I make a mistake, God reprimands me like this. Like, He doesn't joke with me. Like, He's very, very strict with me. So in other words, I can't just go and sin and I'll be okay. Like it doesn't work for me that way. And that happened in the beginning of my walk when I started to get to know Him. When I was still sinning, like it felt so bad. Like He would convict me, and I just felt like I wanted to die. Like it wasn't a good feeling. Anyways, I was a bit confused about this guy, and I went on his page, and I started saying, okay, so you're telling me that it's okay to have sex with your boyfriend and you'll still go to heaven and God will forgive you. And he would be like, yeah, yeah. And then, it's in Romans. And then all these people started ganging up on me and saying, yeah, I don't know what you're learning. So I was like, okay, God, I'm confused. You need to tell me exactly what you mean by, you know, you sinning as a Christian and still being forgiven, because there's a story in the Bible where there was a woman on the well and He told her, go and sin no more. So that's where I was like, okay, I need clarification on this topic. So check this out, guys. It was very, very crazy how this happened to me. So all of a sudden, I started losing interest in reading the Bible. I started losing interest in praying. And at the same time, I got a little bit cocky because I was like, you know what? I follow everything that God tells me. Everything in my life is going so well. I have no complaints. Every trial that comes to me, I know how to handle it. Um, well, of course, with God's help, this is not me. Like, God helps me a lot in stuff. Actually, He always helps me in everything. I don't know anything to myself. If I didn't have Him in my life, Anyways, so I started losing interest. I was like, you know what? I don't need it. I don't need to read every day. I got it handled. Sure enough, that was not the case, folks. Not the case at all, let me tell you. So, uh, so I've always been very diligent. I haven't dated anyone. I was celibate for 5 years. I still am, but I'll tell you the story. I was super concentrated in God, and I always tell God, I don't want you to bring any guy to me unless there's a purpose. So I said, I don't want to date. I don't want to waste my time. I just want to focus on you. I want to focus my walk with you. So sure enough, all this 5 years, no guys approached me. I would go to the grocery everywhere, everywhere. They would not. No one approaches me to ask for my number. And before, when I wasn't walking with God, guys would fly to me. Um, but now it was God's like saying, you know what, I'm gonna protect you. You know, it's kind of like I'm gonna put that shield around you where no one approaches you, especially not good men, because which I am glad, that that's how it is, that God protects me from the men that, they're not good, and sometimes they just want one thing. So anyways, back to my story. Sure enough, I started losing interest in praying and not reading the Bible. And my ex, one of my exes that I would never ever in my life would ever date him. And it was 10 years since he had not contacted me. And for some reason, I decided to give him a chance. So I was like, you know what? I didn't pray to God about this. Like I said, I wasn't really in my Bible. I wasn't on my guard. My guard was literally down. So I was like, okay, I'll give him a chance. And sure enough, it happened. We ended up sleeping together. And it was kind of like it was kind of like I was already trapped and I couldn't get out. It was the worst feeling during that time, and this happened maybe, I would say, well, around last year. But how long did it happen for? I would say the whole situation, with him, it only lasted 2 months because I nipped it in the butt like that. But the whole me being convicted, it lasted a whole 8 months. And those were the whole, I mean, I never thought I would ever sleep with anyone again. I'm not kidding, folks. I thought I was gonna be good forever. Like, I was like, you know what? I got this sin down. It's not gonna get me. No, no, no. No, it did get me. And during that time, I felt trapped. I felt like crap. My self esteem went down. Um, I couldn't concentrate. Like, it was like I was a zombie. Um, and I was like, okay, what is going on? Like, what happened to me? I was just asking myself, like, what what in the world happened to me? So anyways, it came to the point where I was sitting in my sofa, and I was just like, okay, God, this is not right. Something something's going on and I can't get out of it. Like, why is this happening to me? Like, please help me. Like, I got to a point where I was like, I don't want this. Like, why? So sure enough, once I talked to God about it, because when that was happening with my ex, um, this is what God taught me. When you're in sin, he cannot communicate with you, because God's holy, God's pure. So God and sin do not go together. I'm sorry. Like, that's one thing that he taught me, because remember I told you, let's go back to the story. I was like, how does the sin work? And you as a Christian, you know, how does that work? Like, how does it, like, so that's one thing that during that time when I was sinning, I didn't hear from God. He wasn't talking to me. And of course, I felt guilty, so I didn't want to go to him. I was like, oh my goodness, like what? Like, and yeah, so you get guilt, you don't want to go and talk to him. So anyways, I was sitting myself and then I said, God, I need you to help me. Like, what is going on? And sure enough, everything disappeared. My ex left, no contact. I changed my number. I deleted it. I was like, I gotta start over again. Like, I want to get back. Like, this should have not happened. Like, it should have not happened. So, anyways, I also was learning about witchcraft too, on how people. I was watching a lot of videos on YouTube on Christians or preachers who give you information about how witchcraft works. So, um, I'm not gonna say no names, but I knew a lot of some people who were in my family practicing witchcraft, um, and God revealed to me a lot of things once I got out of that situation. He revealed to me that saying that, there were some people that were envious of your walk with me, and they knew that you were celibate. They knew that, you were, but since you let your guard down, you stopped praying, you stopped reading the Bible, that's when the Satan attacked you. So it doesn't matter, folks. Every day you have to put the full armor of God. If you don't have the full armor of God, you're going to get attacked. And I'm sorry to say that you will get attacked, because Satan is waiting at the door when you put your guard down, and he's going to be like, this is my chance. I'm going to get him right now. I'm going to get her like this. She's vulnerable. She doesn't have, her shield up. This is where I'm going to go in for the kill. So, yeah, so God taught me that. He's like, no. He's like, don't ever get, too comfortable. Like that Little Wayne, that song that says, don't you ever get too comfortable. So anyways, that's exactly what he means. Don't ever get too comfortable. So he said, yeah, so the witchcraft, it does exist. Um, and the witchcraft, it will only get to you if you don't have a relationship with God. Well, let me take that back, because anytime someone is going to do witchcraft on you, Satan has to ask for permission to see if God will allow that to happen to you. And the only reason God allows that is to maybe teach you a lesson, not teach you a lesson, but like in my case, I wanted to know what it felt. In other words, not felt, but I wanted to know how it worked. Like, how does sin and God work? Or you as a Christian and you're able to sin. So in this case, since I was, wanting to know about witchcraft, how it operates in the spiritual realm. So yeah, so I could say, yeah, and let me tell you something about the witchcraft, folks. You don't have to go to no witch doctor to cast a spell on somebody. You could do it yourself. So in other words, if you have so much hate towards a person, you have so much envy towards somebody, automatically the demons and Satan picks up on that, and they will go and do that for you without you even knowing. Yeah, I know. So without you even knowing, you're already signing a contract with Satan to go and do something to that other person. So basically, if you're just buying those little rag dolls, or going to get your cards read, or stuff like that, Satan's just messing with you. It's all spiritual. Objects don't do anything to you. It's just to make you feel dumb. Like, the power is in your words, so you can easily put a spell on somebody. But here's the thing, though. If you are truly walking with God and you have a relationship with him and you truly believe in him, no witchcraft will come against you. nothing. So that witchcraft will go straight back to that person who cast it upon you. It's gonna go right back. And I have many stories on that people have tried to do stuff to me, and bam, and it goes right back at them, and it's very sad. um so anyways, so yeah, so I let my guard down. And like I said, a lot of people were envious that I was having that walk with God. And sure enough, that's when I got attacked. But God only let it happen because in a way he wanted to show me how it works. And you know and he knows how much I love him. He knows that I'm very committed to him. So that's how I found out how witchcraft works, how if you don't stay prayed up, how you'll get attacked. Um, and after this fall, I became a stronger person spiritually. So God's gonna, pretty much it was just like I started, when that happened to me, I was like, wow, so that's how it works. So you're telling me, God, if I don't pray every day, if I don't read my Bible every day, this can happen again? He said, yes, it can. So it's up to us to pray to him, to get um, that time with him in. So when you are out in the world with dealing with people or whatever, um, they don't have that attack towards you, or they don't, because there's a lot of people out there, like I said, that they're not walking with God and that are carrying demons. And yeah, you might laugh. For people that don't know about the spiritual realm, let me tell you something. If you are not saved, if you do not have a relationship with God where you talk to him and he speaks to you, you are prone and you are carrying demons with you. It could be a demon of envy, it could be a demon of greediness. If you get sick a lot, that's also demons haunting you. Sickness, if you're constantly depression, um, all those things, folks, every single thing, like um, those are all spiritual attacks. So um, yeah, so that's how it works. I just wanted to share that with you, that you know stay prayed up. um, don't let your guard down like I did. um, and yeah, that's a little bit of, I'm gonna do another video on that witchcraft, because it just amazed me how how that works. And I'm not saying it in a good way. I'm saying it like, wow. Like the way that it comes to people that are, it's just crazy. Like it just surprises me. Um, but yeah, no. So yeah, I let my guard down, and that's how it happened. That's how God showed me that, that's the only way that he'll be able to, that's how people that are walking with God, that's how they fall into sin, because they're not in the word. So once you get saved, and you need to be always in the word, so you can protect yourself from Satan's attacks. That's the only way you're going to be able to beat him. In other words, you have to be always on your toes, because Satan comes to destroy. He's not your best friend, folks. If you think that, oh yeah, because a lot of people make pacts with Satan, and he gives them what they want. I'm not gonna lie. Like you can make a pact with him. Like literally, you could be sitting by yourself and say, you know what, I want to have this, I want to have that, and he'll give it to you. But at the end, he wants your soul. Okay, folks, you're gonna have to pay with your soul. But with God, if you're with God and you ask him for things, he'll give them to you, but there will be peace. And in that walk with him, he will change you as a person, but for the better, not for the worse. And if something happens to you, if you go through trials in your life, he will be there to guide you every step of the way. He'll not leave you nor forsake you. And that's what the word says. He's like, come to me and I will give you any to rest. There's a Bible verse, I don't have it, and I think it's in Psalms. Bring your problems to me and I will take care of them. And I'm going to say something, folks. Walking with God and being a Christian is not easy. You know, um, when you're really preaching the word, people are not going to like you. They're not going to like what you have to say. You know, um, you're going to lose a lot of friends, even family members. They're not going to they're not going to like it. So, I mean, but throughout your whole walk, he will be there to guide you, and you won't even feel alone. So, when all these people start going away from you, you're not even going to care. It's not going to phase you. I mean, it might phase you a little bit, but then you get used to it, because let's keep in mind, did they like Jesus when he was here on earth? No, they didn't. They used to mock him, and that's the reason why they killed him, because they didn't like what he was here to do on earth. They didn't like it. So what makes you think, by you walking with Jesus and preaching his word, that they're gonna like you? No, they're not gonna like you. It's just, you have to face it, and you have to put the full armor of God and not let it phase you. You have to have tough skin. um, so yeah, folks. So again, God showed me. And but anyways, anyway, happy Passover, and that's about it. Adios, amigos. Until next time, I say all the time, choose Jesus today before your death date. Bye.